Hey devs, in this video we are building a secure login system with Next.js 15, Zod, Prisma, Resend, and Tailwind CSS. Users can sign up, get a verification link by email, and then log in securely using JWT authentication. We will go step by step from setup to testing. Let's jump right in. Okay, let's do a quick demo to see what the end result is going to be. You can sign up. Okay, the user has been created, so I should have an email. Let's check. Less than a minute ago, we have the email. If we check the content, you can see the verify button. So if I copy this URL, I see my email is verified. I can go back to the sign in, and the login was successfully. This was the demo. Let's dive right into the code. Okay, first of all, we are going to create a Next.js app. Just default everything. Next, we're going to install all the dependencies. So Prisma is for the database. We have an hook form, JSonwebtoken, Resend for the email, Zod for the form validation. Because we're using TypeScript, we also need some types. I like to use shadcn as component library. Just makes it easier. So first you have to init, and then I'm choose all the defaults. Okay, so the next thing that we have to do is configure the database. So we're gonna do a very simple setup for this tutorial. We need to create a schema. There's a user ID, password. We use a verified column as a boolean. See if somebody is verified, and a verification token. npx prisma generate. Now we have created the Prisma client. Then we can do the migration. We need, of course, some environment variables. So at this point, you can also create a Resend account and create an API key. I have mine right here, so yes, bomb. So now the database is in sync with my schema. Right, I have some basic functions just to compare the password, just some basic email template, JWT stuff, generate tokens, and some validation for the form later on. So let's start with creating the UI for this. So in Next.js, all the folders that you create under app, of course with a new app router, are going to be segments. So for instance, if you create a folder that is called sign in and you browse to /sign in, you go to the content of that file. So first let me delete all the default Next.js stuff. It's just ugly. Let me paste in our content. So as you can see, we have the link components and we href to sign in and sign up. And if you click on the button, you go to the segments, so to the files that are in the sign in and sign up folder. And let's start with the sign in page. What we return here, basic card, is a form. And in the form, we have an onSubmit handler. About the handler a little bit more later. For now, I just wanted to show you that we have some form fields. So yeah, we return the card and the fields, etc. And we also have a form object, and we use a schema to verify the fields. So if we go to the schema, so for the sign in, we have an email and a password, and you can do all kinds of validation here. For the sign up, we have a little bit more, like a password, confirm password. We need to make sure that the user puts in the same password. So yeah, the schema, you can feed it to the resolver, and then you get live feedback in the form. Sign up, basically the same. We return a card with a form with some form fields, and about verify a little bit later. Okay, so what's next? We do have a form, but of course we cannot sign up yet. So let's create the endpoints. because now if you want to sign in or sign up, you can see just some errors. Let me show the terminal. Yeah, you can see 404, so it doesn't exist. So at this point, I'm going to show the onSubmit handler. So if you want to sign up, onSubmit, yeah, we set some states. So we do a post request to API/signup with the data that the user passes in this case, the token. So the route file in the API folder handles all the database communication. And if the response is not okay, we can see it in the alert. If it is okay, we are going to see a success message in the alert, and we reset the form. So all the magic needs to happen in the API folder. So if you create the API folder, all the files need to be called route.ts, and they're going to be treated as endpoints. So for instance, we want to have a sign up endpoint. The files needs to be called route.ts because this is server-side logic. What we do is we catch the request and we check if the input is correct. So again, we are using the sign up schema and we parse it to see if it's okay. And if not, we can see a failure message. And if it's okay, we are extracting the email address and password. And we check if there's a user. If there's a user, we return to the client component that the user is already there, and then we can show the alert. Or we are going to create a user after we hash the password and after we have created a verification token. So the verification token is just a random number, and we put it inside the column verification token. Verified is set to false by default, and we also try to send the email using Resend. If everything works, we return a success message to the client component, and we can see it in the alert. For sign up, it's basically the same. So again, we need to create a route.ts file. We catch the request. We check if everything is valid. If it is, we check if the user exists. We check the password, and then we are using the compare password function to check if the password matches. If it does match, we generate a token for JWT and we set a cookie. And then if everything goes well, we return a success message again to the client component. Sign out is just basic stuff. If a user signs out, we delete the cookie and return a message to the client component. So verify is a little bit different. If a request comes in at /API/verify, we extract the token from the user param. What we do is we check the token and we check if it matches with the column verification token in the database. If it does, we return a message to the client component. The user is now verified, and we put the verification token to null. And if you remember well, in Resend, you can see that we have the same structure like /verify, token param, and then the actual token. So that's the flow. The user signs up, the application sends an email with a random token. The token is registered in the database. As soon as the user goes to this URL, the application detects the token. The token is going to be sent to the API route /verify, and we are going to check it in the database if it matches the column from the user. If it does, the user is verified. If it's not, we see a message. So that's basically it. Let's check if it works. Let's create a new account, put in my own account, secret password, password 123, sign up. Wow, magic. So I think we might have an email. Less than a minute ago, we can see the template, again with a random token. If we copy this and we paste it here, wow, the email is verified successfully. Okay, let's double check if we can log in. Sign in. Password 123. Sign in. Sign in successfully. Nice. Okay, That's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Have a nice day and keep coding. Ciao.